sometimes I absolutely love the fact that I'm constantly moving on tour and you only get one day in each city, and then there's other times where I'm just like, oh, in the next 7 days I'm going to be in 7 different places. But on the overall, it's incredible, and the places you get to visit are just insane, really. It's not like any other job at all. On this road. It was actually the 4th anniversary of my first album yesterday, Try As You Might, and I realised on the way here on the train, so I listened to it, how self-indulgent is that, but it was weird listening back to it. It's been quite a while now. It's strange because I'm 21 years old, but it feels like I've been doing this. Well, I've been doing it for over a quarter of my life now. When I just started out, it was because I'd been to watch Green Day. I'd already played guitar since I was 11. Played using in a very light sense. I can't really play the guitar very well, but I went to watch Green Day, and I was already well into my music. I was putting guitar and vocal covers on YouTube and stuff. But I think seeing Green Day, and then Frank Turner supported them, and he had an acoustic guitar, but he was still rocking out like a rock star. That was the first time I thought acoustic musicians can really rock out. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to do the pop punk thing, but with an acoustic guitar. I'm going to do Green Day with an acoustic guitar and see how far I get with this. So then I started writing songs and attempting to play gigs. I started chucking demos in Costa Coffee and all that. Weird place to chuck a CD, but I ended up doing my first gig at a Costa Coffee in Morecambe, which was a charity gig. So you got to start somewhere, haven't you? No, it's good. It was a strange introduction, I think.
If you could go back to that Joe McCorriston who was sitting on a stool in Costa, and I know you're sitting on a stool, which I've seen the video.
It is still on YouTube, embarrassingly.
Yeah. If he was sitting next to you now, what advice would you give him?
Looking back on myself, just starting out, I'd probably, it sounds silly, but I'd probably tell myself to work even harder. Like, I've played gigs before where I've literally been playing to 2 or 3 people, not getting paid, and I've travelled 5 or 6 hours to play the gig. And then I make a contact through that gig, like someone standing at the bar and a PR manager or something, or someone who's associated with a label, or someone who will offer you a support slot at their gig to a bigger crowd kind of thing. So I'd tell myself to look for even more of those gigs. Life's too short to watch them. No, yeah, I've been doing this a while now. It all started in 6th form. I failed 6th form because I was doing this too much. I was going out and playing gigs and not turning up to class. I went through a really big stage of anxiety during 6th form, like throwing up every morning.
So, do you reckon touring and playing music helped you with that?
Yeah, in different ways. It certainly didn't help me with the healthy side to life, because when I first started touring, that's when I started smoking and drinking a bit more. But it definitely, well, it was great doing something I actually wanted to do, you know what I mean? It's literally shaped my personality, like pretty much completely shaped my personality, because you have to learn to be able to talk to people. You have to learn to make friends, maybe even with people you don't necessarily, like you wouldn't get along with them in the real world, but like on a tour, you're yourself, but you've got to have your professional head on. You're always looking out for ways to get people to listen to your music, and you've just got your professional head on even when you're in a pub and you're 8 pints down. As much as I love touring, I really love home. I really love Morecambe. I love walking down the prom and like going in the sea. Yeah, touring is great, but missing home, missing friends and family from back home, and just the fact that you are away a lot of the time and you never settle, that's a good thing and a bad thing. I think it depends what kind of mood you're in at the time, what like phase of life you're going through.
There's been points though, I don't know, how even recently, where you think, you know what, this is not worth it. Like,
all the time. Literally 2 weeks ago, I was doing a tour around the UK, 4 dates in, I come down with laryngitis, so I couldn't even talk. And then I went home and went to my doctor, and I had to be on meds for the next week, and then I had to cancel all the gigs and just let so many people down. I was just thinking, how am I going to come back from this? Like cancelling 5 or 6 gigs. It's horrible.
On the flip side, I know that obviously with the tour around Germany, that was the other end of the scale.
Oh yes. All my experience in touring Germany so far has just been insane. Like they roll out the red carpet for you, they're all so into music, they just love English people, they're all polite, they buy all your merch. It's incredible.
Make them move to Germany.
Yeah, God, I'd love to, but that's not a decision you can like naively say, yeah, I'm gonna move there, and then because if that was the case, I'd have lived in 15 or 20 different places.
So, because obviously at the start of it, and even now, you're probably travelling a hell of a long way for what is not much money at all. You just about break even.
Yeah, I have to go abroad to make money.
Yeah. So, for anyone else who thinks that, you know, being a musician is going to make you rich,
yeah.
Like, what are your thoughts on that?
That's funny. That's really funny. Like people always come up to me now, and they see that this is not important at all in my book, but other people see it important. They're like, "Oh, you've got a few thousand fans on Facebook and a few thousand fans on Twitter. You've played some amazing gigs." They think I've made it. They think I have this life of touring and playing to 200 or 300 people a night, and I just burst out laughing every time. I'm like, listen, it's going to take a lot longer than 5 or 6 years and a couple of albums to get to that stage, especially if you're completely independent, unsigned, and from a little town no one's heard of called Morecambe. Yeah. Don't come into music if your sole objective is to make money. Be a musician and play gigs for the fun of it at the beginning, and if you ever get the opportunity to sell out and go to a major label, do it, because that's what I'm going to do.
There's this whole kind of punk attitude as well, isn't there? You know, I mean,
yeah.
Because you get bands who call themselves punk and they're signed to major labels. I mean, look at Green Day, for example.
I think there's completely nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I think I absolutely despise the term selling out. It's hilarious. It's what jealous people use. I think actually selling out would be going against beliefs that you still stand by and put forward, and then you're completely contradicting yourself.
If you got approached by like an advertising agency to write a song for an advert, you might get a few grand like that. But who's going to want to go and watch a gig for someone who's done a song for a Cocoa Pops commercial?
Well, I do it, and
you do it.
How many adverts do you listen to, or watch and listen to, and you know who the song's by? And I'm not going to go around going, I'm the Cocoa Pops guy. Like, look against me. I've read stories and seen interviews with Laura Jane Grace and the rest of the band saying when they first started touring in tour buses, ex-fans would come and slash their tyres and graffiti the tour bus just because they'd moved onto a tour bus rather than a van. Because obviously it's not punk enough, is it, touring in a tour bus? And then Frank Turner as well. An acquaintance of mine, someone who I know from a few years ago, she's a big fan of Frank Turner, and I follow her on Twitter, and I saw her tweet at Frank, and it was along the lines of, "I can't believe you, Frank. I just heard one of your songs played on Made of Chelsea." Firstly, who cares? He probably doesn't even know his song's being played on that. That will be a record label thing. And they've just dished the song out to TV shows and Made in Chelsea have played it. Secondly, she's having a go at Frank Turner for being on that while she's watching the show.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. Well, no, because another band who are friends of mine called The Heartbreaks, they're actually from Morecambe, they're not going anymore, unfortunately. One of their songs was on Made of Chelsea, and they didn't have a clue about it. Like, people were tweeting at them, and they were like, "Our song's on Made of Chelsea." And for God's sake, keep calling it Made of Chelsea. But I'm not down with this stuff. No. Made in Essex. Oh, the only way is Chelsea.
Yeah. Towick.
If I do what I want to do, I'm happy. And if people dislike the fact I've done a certain something, that's fine with them to call me whatever and to get lost. Like, and if they want to support me in it, then that's cool as well. Like, people should be allowed to do what they want to do. And I think it's hilarious when people call others sellouts. if a band want to sign to a major label, that's completely fine. If they're happy with it, then that's all that matters. If the fans don't want to follow them and support them, that's cool by them, but yeah, no point in shouting about a band that you now apparently hate. Why don't you go around shouting about bands you love instead of shouting about things you hate, spreading hatred? We need less of that in this world.
Dresden city, picturesque, we drink the barrels almost dry.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
5 years. 26 years old, really knocking on there. I don't know. I won't get too into detail with my personal plan, but hopefully just play music, hopefully to bigger crowds, and hopefully with a lot more songs that I deem good enough to be released to the public. Hopefully I'm not stuck on the album I'm releasing in a few months, in 5 years, but I just want to keep doing this and making more friends and visiting new places, really. Like, it's funny when people say they don't want to get big. I would love to get bigger. I'd love to play to bigger audience. I'd love to turn up at a venue and see that it's sold out, like 200 cap venue. That would be perfect. Like, it's a dream. Like, it's a dream to do that, but no. I think if I keep working hard enough and keep going, like, you never know. You never know. But even if it doesn't happen in the next 5 years, I'll still be doing this. I can try to, like, not play gigs, but that doesn't really work out for me. I end up playing gigs. So there's your answer.
The driver of this bus, he is my hero.